We do over 12.5 million last year. So we're really pretty
Amazing.
thank you.
Yay.
So we started out in 300 square feet.
Hello, everyone. Elle Ballard is here today with you with my guest, Deanna, all the way from Florida. Hi, Deanna. Welcome.
Hi, thank you. I'm so excited to be on.
I'm excited to have you. I'm excited for this conversation. So, Diana is a licensed esthetician and a
Mhm.
former nurse turned skincare pioneer, founded Naples Soap Company out of her passion for assisting individuals suffering from chronic skin issues such as eczema and psoriasis. A Southwest Florida native, Wallin earned her bachelor's degree in psychology from Barry University and then earned her LPN certification.
Thanks for having me on.
Yes, you're welcome. Thank you for being here today. I love your story and I love how you started. Can you give us more on the background of how passion for creating this company started and why specifically soap?
I have had more than my share of experience from a childhood up through adulthood with skincare issues, chronic dry skin, eczema, psoriasis. And then my daughter was born with eczema as an infant. She would have like rashes and breakouts. And so I found myself in a position where juncture in my life, I had gotten divorced and I was looking for a new career path. I'm one of those people that probably not really happy working for others, just because I have so many ideas. I
Me too.
really am. I'm an entrepreneur at heart.
Yes.
I always have a million ideas of things that we could do. So I started a very small store, and I was going to go into a retail store and open a store next to one of my friends. I thought that sounds fun. And a friend of mine came over and I was picking his brain about what I should sell. And he had experience in malls and in retail. And he went into my bathroom and came out and, we were Googling concepts and things. And he came out and he goes, "Why do you have so much stupid lotion and soap in your bathroom?" Because my bathroom, looks like a science lab, always has. And I said, "Well, this one works and this one doesn't work, and this one worked for a little while and this one didn't work, and da 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 da." And I have eczema and psoriasis, and I gave him like a 45-minute dissertation about skin. And he Googles natural soap wholesale. And the very first supplier that popped up is still one of my suppliers today. So it just like a light bulb went off, and he said, "Sell what you know." He said, "Clearly, you've done a lot of
Mhm.
research. You're really passionate about it. You have a medical background, and sell what you know." And from then on, it was just never a question. It's just like, wow, I've always been passionate about skincare. And, like most women, we like all of those girly things, but taking it into helping others that have had chronic skin issues. Once I found out that the natural and organic products were really helping people kind of reboot their bodies, and I got positive feedback, it really gave me the drive to continue to do more. And fast forward today, we have over 650 branded products. So it's not just,
Wow.
even though it's branded Naples Soap Company, we carry scrubs, butters, bath bombs,
Mm.
face care, vitamin C face care, and a whole lot of other wellness products. And we've even started carrying some personal devices and technologies such as like personal care hair removers,
Oh,
like
wow. That's
that.
so cool.
Yeah, we have 13
I
stores
love
in
that.
Florida. And
Congratulations. How
thank you. Yeah,
amazing.
we do over 12.5 million last year. So we're really kicking butt.
Amazing.
Thank you.
Yay.
So we started out in 300 square feet. I took a tiny store, I had no idea what I was doing. And now, we've got over, 15,000 square feet of retail spread across the state of Florida, 20,000 square foot warehouse and distribution facility. We ship all over the US. And we've got a wholesale business, and we've got an e-com business as well that we sell online. So it just
Beautiful. I
keep
love
talking to
it.
people, you just talk and explain your story and share a really great product and help people reboot their skin. It makes a huge difference.
I love that. I love that story. So inspiring. Congratulations.
Thank you. Thank you. It's a lot
And
of fun. And I love the
Yeah,
people that we work with. Our team here is amazing, and surrounding yourself with really good people and people that share your passion is so critical. And I've been very fortunate to have, like, our CFO has been with us 13 out of the 15 years, and our district manager 6, 7 years, our warehouse manager 11 years. We've just been very fortunate to have a great team here.
beautiful. I love that. So skin issues, I think it's just such a growing demand, I think, right? With all the chemicals on the market. And sometimes it starts so early in kids now, right? With all the skin
Absolutely.
issues. How early, or products, like how early do you have products for kids, maybe, I don't know, 1 year plus, or how early can they?
Absolutely. People ask me what's your customer base, and I always tell them babies to 80s,
Maybe studies, yeah.
because I have moms that buy product for their children, and our children are exposed to so many chemicals now, and
Yes.
we have so fragrance allergies and allergies to dryer sheets and detergents, and fortunately, when I started
Yeah.
16 years ago, there weren't as many options for fragrance-free items, and now it has really become mainstream with items that you can pick up easily in the grocery store. But before, even children can be sensitive to, like, baby shampoo, or baby shampoo has fragrance in it. It's about eliminating those chemicals that they're exposed to that can cause irritation. Because you think about shampoos, for children, you put it on the top of their head, it's going over their entire body. So if they're
Yeah.
have a sensitivity to it, you've coated their entire body in something that could be a possible irritant. So yes, we do have an entire fragrance-free and sensitive skincare line that is our top selling. It's really the foundation of our company.
Yeah, I love that. And the whole thing came up to me because my granddaughter had a reaction. And that's why that question came, and I just remembered, and I think she had it to bubble, like she had a bubble bath. And
Exactly.
so I'll have
So
to,
the lathering agents, a lot of the lathering agents are equivalent to, like, chemical degreasers. If you look
Mm,
at, like, sodium lauryl sulfate, and there's other, chemical degreasers, some of the things that are in bubble bath are the same exact ingredients that are, like, in, for example, Dawn dishwashing liquid or Armor All
eh,
car wash. And
yeah,
you wouldn't consider putting any of those
that's
on your
crazy.
baby. It's
No,
just that they change a few of the ingredients and put some cute fragrance and put it in a cute bottle. And that's the
no,
difference, is that there isn't much difference. It's just a packaging and marketing position. But when you look at the ingredient deck, it's almost the same. So it's about being really careful about sulfates, and about, we think, especially in the US, we think that more lather is better, but really more lather is just stripping your natural oils off of your body, which some people
mm,
don't produce a lot of oil. And if you don't produce a lot of oil, if you're not an oily person, your skin's going to get dry. And depending on what your
yeah,
climate is, and what you're exposed to. And I'm one of those people, I shower twice a day, and I like to take a long hot shower. And that's really
yeah,
damaging to your skin, but I love a good hot shower. It's great
yeah,
for my muscles, and helps me feel like I can move around. And just being exposed to these different elements can definitely have effects on the skin, and people don't realize it's an organ and you have to take care of it, just like any other organ in your body. It's your first line of
yeah,
defense to the whole world.
yeah.
And how old is your granddaughter?
She's 20 months. Yeah, so she's
Oh,
little. Yeah.
it's so hard to watch them when they're so small suffering, because they don't
Yeah.
understand. And my daughter, when she was younger, she would scratch and bleed and she would
Hmm.
cry. And then
Mm.
when they get into school, it's very hard, because it can be really embarrassing for them if they've got scabs and sores on their legs and
Yeah.
stuff. And at some points, she didn't want to wear shorts to school. And we live in Florida, it's really hot. But
Yeah.
she was embarrassed, and the other kids would make fun of her. So there's some psychological ramifications of it as well. And people with
For sure.
psoriasis,
Mm.
also experience this if they've got, plaques on exposed areas. So, there's a lot more to it than just being uncomfortable. There are
Yeah.
psychological implications as well.
Psoriasis. That's how you say it.
Psoriasis, yes.
Yes. Yes. I knew the Russian psoriasis. That's right. That's right. I'm so glad you're doing that work because because it's just so needed. I myself, like you mentioned, hot showers. I love saunas, but they also
Right,
can dry the skin, right? And
right.
my girl is doing it twice a week, but I also notice I need to put something on my skin right after that feels it. But then I've also read somewhere, which we don't realize sometimes, how much whatever we put on our skin really goes inside our body. And maybe we don't think about it, right? We just put it on and go. And you mentioned something with hair. We also don't think that something we put on our hair goes, into our skin. And so it's just so important to consider those things. We'll post a website for Naples Soap Company in our comments as well, and we'll share it. And I definitely will be checking it out because as we were speaking, I just remembered my personal story. Here you go, right?
Absolutely. And one of the things about saunas that people don't quite think about is that you really should shower as soon as you get out of the sauna, because when you're in a sauna, you're pulling toxins out of your body. But if you leave
Mm,
that sitting on and you're through sweat, if you leave it sitting on the skin, it's just going to reabsorb into the skin. You've got to purge the toxins through sweat, and then you have to wash it off. So it's really important. Even toweling off with a wet towel just to get it off your skin is really super important. So a lot of people miss
great
that step
point.
or might wait
Yeah.
a little while, but I try when I hit the sauna, I go straight into the shower
Yeah, great point. Thank you.
and then
Yes.
moisturize once I get out of the shower. And a lot of times what I'll do is I'll take an oil and I'll put an oil on while I'm still wet
Hmm.
from the shower, and it goes a lot further. And that's a really
Hmm.
nice way to get a fast hydrating, moisturizing is through an oil, a body oil. And then your towels absorb the oil, and it just feels really nice if you reuse the towel also.
Yeah, great tip. Great reminder. Thank you. Um, Okay, so congratulations again on building such a great company that also serves so many people and now so many products. I can't imagine, right? There were so many lessons, right? Building a business as a woman, your own, with your passion. Maybe you can pick one or two lessons for our listeners, for women who are maybe thinking to start a business or already working on their businesses. What are some of the biggest lessons that you encountered and you would want to share?
I just had this conversation with my daughter. My daughter is a plastic surgeon. She's a resident, fifth year resident, and she's a reconstructive plastic surgeon. So she does a lot of really intricate things. And we were talking
Mm.
about this recently, and she's absolutely brilliant. I know she's my daughter, but I'm bragging on her a little bit. But she's always been spectacular with academics, and she excels everywhere she goes. And we were talking about and with women and business and just in our careers, and we started talking about imposter syndrome. And
Mhm.
that is one thing that I think as women, we really don't talk about enough because we have it. We may not identify it as imposter syndrome, but we have those self-doubts that creep in. And I think those thoughts, those negative thoughts and those self-doubt where you're like, am I good enough? What if they find out that I'm not good enough? What if they find out I'm not smart enough? What if they find out I don't know what I'm doing? What if all of these what ifs? I think really diving into that and trying to negate all of those thoughts and get positive reassurance and positive thoughts coming into your mind, that's really important because I know for so many years that drugged me down. I was very
Yeah.
insecure. I do have a degree. I have a degree in psychology, but I don't have a business degree. And so when I was learning and going through things, I was like, oh, I should know that, but I don't know that. What if people don't know that I don't know what that means? And I'm the research rat, so I would have to go look things up and figure it out. But and then I finally realized it's okay to say I don't know. Let me find out, or
Yeah.
let me research that, or let me ask someone, because I thought I had to have all the answers. And really, especially if you're an entrepreneur, you're writing your own book.
Yeah.
There's no answer for
Mm-hmm.
your concept, your idea. It's very difficult you're never going to get it perfect, and you're going to
Hmm.
make a lot of mistakes, but you need to learn from those mistakes. But if you let that fear and that imposter syndrome creep in, you're going to doubt yourself constantly. And then the people that work with you or the people that you lead, they're not going to believe in you either. So you have to really take that leadership role and kind of assess that imposter syndrome and, do some talk down to
Yeah.
yourself about it, and I think as
Yeah.
women do that to ourselves a lot. I'm sorry, I have motion activated lights in,
Yeah. It's
in our
okay. Yeah.
office. So that would be one of the lessons, and surround yourself with a really great group of people that you trust, people that you respect their opinions. As far as business, I say be very wary of consultants. There's a lot of, and I say air quotes, consultants out there, and you think that they know more about your business than you do, but not really. They might just be throwing random advice at you. And, we've had plenty of consultants in our time, and now we vet people out that we work with very carefully. I've seen so many consultants turn companies sideways because they didn't
Mm.
understand the brand or they didn't understand the nature of the business. And or they, and the owner might be insecure thinking that this consultant knows more than they do. But really, it's like your child. You know them better. You know your business better than other people do. So I would say advice from consultants you process, take with a grain of salt, and still listen to your gut and your intuition about your business and stay true to what your vision and your mission is. That's really important because people can get you off track and
Yeah.
and then you're not owning your future and owning, what you wanted to do, your mission.
I love this so much. I love both of those so much. Thank you. Yes, I think we just don't talk about it enough. We heard it, we know it, but then do we do it? Because it just comes up. And it's funny, this is the second time I had another podcast. We spoke exactly about the self-imposter syndrome, perfectionism in women.
Right.
So,
Right.
it is a thing, and especially for women. And I know that for myself as well. And especially when I'm ready to get to that next level, it's always starting again. And it's such a good advice. Thank you. And also, yeah, for the consultant, for the advice we're receiving. Um, yeah,
Well, and
so
that
spot
kind of goes hand
on.
in hand with the imposter syndrome because when you start doubting
Yep.
yourself and you think other people are doubting you, then you start looking for resources outside
Yes.
for people to tell
Yeah.
you what to do and guide me and maybe other people know more than I do. And they might with certain areas, but keeping your vision and your mission close to your chest and your heart and protecting that is really important. And those talks about, self-doubt, those negative intrusive thoughts really have to be managed because it's every
Yes.
entrepreneur and even every career woman, not necessarily
Mm-hmm.
entrepreneur, career women, as they're working through
Yep.
their career and working towards promotions and coming up with creative ideas. It's always people are afraid to speak up and to show to be unique. And we have to make sure as that we're charging forward and that we're putting unique ideas out there and not be afraid.
Yeah, yeah, I so agree. Thank you, Diana, for bringing light into that, and thank you for sharing that because I think it's just so important. Yeah, so agree. And as we're building our companies, as we're building our vision, it's so important for us to stay on that, and our own voice, our own intuition knows better, right? Because we
Absolutely.
that's how we started. That's why we started. I love that so much. Um, can you tell our listeners how they can find you? Maybe just the website, or
Sure.
and then we'll post it as well.
Yeah, you can find us on naplessoap.com,
Perfect.
NAPLESSOAP, naplessoap.com. We're also on Facebook and Instagram and Pinterest, so all social media and our website as well. You can order directly from the website. And then we have 13 retail locations in the state of Florida, and we've got a locator on the website as well if you're in the state of Florida.
Beautiful. Awesome. I love it. I'm gonna check it out right after this too.
Thank you.
Yes, absolutely. Anything else before we move on to the rapid fire question?
No, I love your
section?
questions, and it's fun to be able to share that experience with people. I've walked in
Yeah.
the shoes. It's been 16 years, and I have a lot of lessons, and as you can see, a lot of gray hair from from being an entrepreneur. But it's always a pleasure to be able to share a few words of wisdom with maybe other women out there that are looking towards starting their own business, or maybe they're in the middle of it, and but just that questioning yourself is always going to be there. And just how do you manage that? How do you manage that? So no, I'm good. Thank you.
Thank you. Thank you so much. Well, thank you for taking the time today. Now, I want to move us to the rapid fire questions.
Okay.
Um, so, my first question will be your favorite book name is?
Right now, I have referred this book to probably 5 people in the last 2 weeks. Currently, it is Let Them by Mel Robbins.
Oh, I just finished reading it.
I
I
I have
love,
bought multiple copies of this book. It is a game changer, and it has given me
yes.
so much peace of mind. And I think I've given at least 6 copies of it out to people, and I've referred 5 people to it this week. Plus, I listened to it on Spotify. So thanks, Mel Robbins. We appreciate everything that you and your daughter Sawyer put into that book. It has made a
Yes.
difference in so many people's lives. So that's one book. And I read a ton. I'm usually reading 3 books at a time, a business book, fiction book, and then some kind of personal growth book. And that has been like one of the most influential books that I've read in a very long time. So there you go.
Yeah. Thank you. I love that book as well. And I also have it on audio as well.
Yes. Yes.
Awesome, beautiful. Okay. Beach or mountains?
Beach.
Favorite international destination to visit?
Portugal.
Ooh, I've never been, but I've heard so many great things about it. Summer or winter?
Winter.
And final question is things that you have discovered about yourself recently.
I have a lot more resilience than what I ever thought that I had. And I have been put through a lot of tests in the last 5 years between COVID affecting our businesses. And then in South Florida here, we had 2 years apart, we had hurricanes back to back. And it really had an impact on our business and had an impact on our community, significant impact on our community. And I really learned exactly how strong I was and how resilient I was. And it took me a long time to give myself credit for that. And that strength and resilience is something that I'm owning, and I'm proud of that, because most people wouldn't be standing after what we've been through here in our area, and our business is still growing and thriving. And so that resilience, I'm going to own it, and I'm going to be proud of it.
What a beautiful example. Thank you. Thank you for that resilience because you're showing so many that it can be done, including your daughter, right?
Right,
I love
exactly.
that. Leading by example. Deanna, thank you so much. Such a pleasure speaking with you
Thanks for
today.
having me on. Thank you for
Thank
having me
you.
on. This is great. Really
Yeah.
appreciate it.
Thank you so much. Pleasure to meet you and have a beautiful rest of the week.
Thank you. You too. Take care.